We will tell the council the truth. May burn down the witch's fortress, and everyone was lost.
We really didn't get a whole lot of new information in this episode.
I fear for the girl's safety. The witches prepare for a ceremony tonight. What if the girls are in danger?
The Jedi definitely messed up. They were totally in the wrong here. And I love that nuance to the Jedi. It fits perfectly in George's vision. It's not showing them in a negative light. It's just showing the nuance and complexity to the Jedi.
You happy I'm gone now? You don't have Daddy to kick around anymore, because this is what you get.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining me on the Holocron today. I'm going to be doing a breakdown over episode 7. Stay tuned to the end of this episode to find out about the hidden Matrix reference. This episode is another flashback episode. It's supposed to tell the Jedi's version of what happened on episode 3 in Brendok. There's a few things that we suspected that was officially confirmed, such as Sol murdering Mother Anastasia.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Everybody suspected, there was some sort of dark side within him and some sort of guilt, with the emotion that he displays.
But I didn't know what the fuck was happening because I've barely been sleeping.
They're on Brendok investigating a vergence in the Force. People have confused this and thought the vergence in the Force is the twin children. It's not. The location on Brendok itself is the vergence. And in fact, there's this mysterious pit that the witches are doing some sort of ceremony.
That's gonna kill me. That's real. That lives with us on Earth.
It kind of reminds me of the Dark Side Cave on Ock 2, the little well that they had there. So I'm wondering if this might actually be the Vergence location. It's weird that it's just barely brushed upon in the episode, but I feel like this is going to play a heavy significance in the final episode. There are some questions about the children that everybody has been asking, and unfortunately this episode doesn't answer all of those questions, but it does raise a lot more questions.
Ever gone mountain biking? What do you want to be when you grow up? What's the right tip? Have you called a plumber to your home lately? How superstitious are you?
A few of the things that they say is, Sol is saying to Indara, he says they don't treat these girls like children.
They do not treat the girls like children.
Because he sees them doing the battle training when he's investigating.
These will not warn you before they attack! Get up.
They talk about using the Vergence on this planet as the power source to split the consciousness of one person into two. And that's actually a theory I've heard floating around. Very intriguing that May and Osha are actually one person split into two. And if that's the case, I'm leaning heavily on it's some sort of Sith ceremony or Sith resurrected spirit that they might actually be, some sort of ancient Sith Lord split into both of their bodies. Maybe they were trying to combine them back into one in that ascension ceremony. And they also say that the girl's yet to know that the true power that she holds.
The girl has yet to discover the power she holds.
That leads me to heavily believe it's some sort of ancient Sith ceremony, maybe a resurrection, and they've split the Sith Lord into two consciousnesses. It was cool to see the witches take over Torben's mind and see, it was almost like a dark side Jedi mind trick, like a witch mind trick, and to see how that played out from Torben's point of view. I thought that was very interesting.
Wow. Pretty serious. Any questions?
The Jedi definitely messed up. I know a lot of people are hating the fact that they're showing the Jedi in such a negative viewpoint.
Oh, don't cry, are you?
I don't think it's really a negative viewpoint. It's just showing the bureaucracy of the Jedi Order, which led to their downfall. Their hubris, the fact that they think they know everything. You can see in Dara, she acts like a know-it-all.
That's why I have a Padawan and you do not.
There's a few things that I thought were cool. The witches, they pull their arrows, but you actually look at the tips of them, there's some sort of laser arrows. Of course, they've got to adapt the arrow to be the Star Wars universe. They can't just have it be a metal tip. Mother Anastasia predicting Order 66. I thought that was super cool.
Someday those noble intentions you all have will destroy every Jedi in the galaxy.
And when Mother Anastasia ends up going into the mist form and actually taking May with her,
Help me!
Soul reacted on the fly. I mean, if I was there, I'd probably react the same way. She looked like she was turning into some demon form.
I fear for the girl's safety.
Who knows whether that was a hostile action. And, you know, he was there to save the children. That's his only mission, was to save the children.
The witches prepare for a ceremony tonight. What if the girls are in danger?
So his first thought is, you know, I'm going to take her down to save this child, because he actually looks back at May and sees her turning to mist too. He did that in defense of the children. That's the only reason he did that.
Wanted the twins to be safe.
With no thought of the consequences.
That in and of itself makes Soul's story even more sad, you know, that he actually killed these children's mother, let one of them die and slip and fall to their death. It makes his story very tragic, and I like the depth and complexity that they're bringing to these characters. I wish we had enough time in these episodes to really give that complexity to other characters, such as Yord and Jeki. Don't get me wrong, I love their characters. It's just, it didn't hit very hard for a lot of people when we only had them on screen for a very minimal amount of time. We're supposed to grow attached to these characters, but these episodes are such fast-paced episodes that there's really no lollygagging in between to really develop the characters. The plot is designed to be like a movie, and to fit it in sitcom-level episodes just doesn't work, unfortunately. And I'm hearing that overwhelmingly in the community. I'm hearing that from everybody, from other creators, from other audience members. And so I'm hoping our feedback, you know, I've talked about constructive criticism before and how we're actually breaking down the story for the story. I hope they really listen to our feedback when it comes to season 2, if we get a season 2. And I don't want to come here complaining about the series. I'll do a full breakdown on the series after the next episode comes out, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty details like this in that episode, but I just had to mention it here because everybody feels that way, and so it felt wrong to leave that out. You see Soul completely overwhelmed by guilt after he murders Mother Anastasia. He totally feels bad about it, and when Mother Coral confronts him about it and fights him, he basically pulls a Luke Skywalker "I will not fight you" moment and lets her beat him up. You know, at one point he realizes the mining facility is actually burning down, and he's got to stop the fight there to save the children because that's his only mission.
The twins!
It was odd seeing the entire Witch Coven die when Indara severed the connection to the Force with them, to the thread. Indara, I mean, she sensed exactly what happened after that. You see the look on her face of regret. And I think that's partially a lot of the reason why she wants to cover up this mission, is because she's actually responsible for a lot of those witches' deaths herself. And those witches were acting in defense of themselves. So everybody's saying that the Jedi are righteous in this, and they were to a point. They were trying to save the children, but you got to think they were actually invading another person's home, and they were even told by the council to let it be.
The council said no. They say that we have interfered too much already.
They were totally in the wrong here, and I love that nuance to the Jedi. It fits perfectly in George's vision. It's not showing them in a negative light. It's just showing the nuance and complexity to the Jedi. They weren't just all good, badass motherfuckers. Some of them were actually corrupt. Some of them made bad calls.
Any of these little fuckers ever pop out of the fucking wall and say, "Fuck, there's a horse cock in my room," or a donkey dick?
The Jedi were not infallible. In fact, they obviously fell to Order 66. They didn't even see that coming.
Execute Order 66.
Yes.
And so I like how it kind of sets up the building blocks to the Jedi's demise. And you kind of see some of the cracks in the foundation in this episode, in the series. And so that hidden Matrix reference that I was telling you guys about, it's actually just a musical note, and it's very heavily used in the Matrix trilogy. When Indara jumps on Kelnaka, it plays that same exact note, just like it would in the Matrix. And so I thought that was a cool nod to Trinity in the Matrix, you know. She was even using some sort of kung fu move when she jumped on him and took him down to the ground. In the end, it was her decision to do the cover-up. She made the call to blame it on May and said that May started the fire and killed all the witches.
May didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning.
Sol knew it was the wrong decision. He wanted to turn himself in to the council, but...
I must face the council.
Why would you do that to her? After everything this little girl has lost tonight, you take away her dream as well?
And Dara, I thought she was very selfish in that moment. She was basically playing off of Sol's emotions to get him to not turn himself over to the council, even though he should have. So we only have one more episode to wrap up the series, and I really don't see how they're going to be able to stick the landing here. There's so many plot points going on right now that they're not going to be able to successfully tie up. We thought we were going to get a bunch of questions answered in the last episode, but there's more questions than answers now. So here's my theory about what's going to happen in the final episode. We're going to see Chimera telling Osha his side of what happened on Brendok, because I think it was an ancient Sith ritual that was going on in the Ascension. I believe that Chimera was actually there. Whether his master Plagueis was there or he is Plagueis, that's still to be determined. I definitely believe Chimera was there. He knows too much to not have been there. So we're going to see Chimera tell Osha his side of the events that happened on Brendok. And I think she's going to turn to the dark side. We've already seen from the trailer, there's some scenes where it shows Sol's ship chasing after Chimera's ship.
It's time.
They kind of alluded to it in the episode before this last episode. They said, Osha tells Chimera, Sol's found me before. He's very powerful in the Force. He'll find me again.
If you keep me here, Sol comes to you. He's found me before.
And so basically, Sol's gonna find out wherever Chimera is.
What?
They're gonna get into a chase.
What?
It's gonna be one final battle.
What?
And I hate to say it, but Sol's gonna die.
What?
Oh my god! He does it from. Oh my god!
Vernestra's gonna basically be left wondering, like, what the heck happened? Was this Sol that did it? I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Holocron. I know it was very short. There wasn't a whole lot that we got in this episode, though. I gave you guys my highlights. I hope you enjoyed the Matrix reference. I haven't actually seen anybody else reference that. May the Force be with us all.
Oh, there it is. There's my name. Another check for Daddy.
If you strike me down, I shall